it started when I was a child. I didn't have a great relationship with my uncle, and he was a stand-up comedian, and he made me the butt of every joke. I don't know why they allowed 5-year-olds in that comedy club, but they did.
Cigarette butt.
I think just so he
Put the
can make jokes
cigarettes
at
out
my
on my
expense.
skin. He puts a cigarette butt burned, but you put out the cigarettes on my skin.
And there you have it, folks. That's how you open up a comedy podcast episode bit, mother frickin' Anyway, you're probably wondering why I decided to do that, other than to embarrass myself, because I love doing that. I love doing this so much. It's because I have a different mic today, because I forgot the same mic that David has.
Again.
So now I am using
Twice in a row.
this SM58
Twice in a row.
that you might recognize from such hits as most any concert you've ever been to. So there you go. The singer's on the singing mic and the talker's on the talking mic. And I figured, I'd mess things up one more time before we have to leave this house.
Yeah, welcome to the finale of this setup.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed your stay.
This is episode 41 of the Too Bad We Didn't Get Into Cars podcast. We kicked off season 3 last episode. And as always, my name is Nick Scarpin Auto.
David Kabushi Cars.
And we're ready to
stupid ass
blow your faces off.
Volkswagen electric vehicle 4.
Not sure what year, because it doesn't say a year.
It's the 4th one.
We want to think it's the 2022 vehicle because that's what its copyrighted is on the bottom of the car, but we're not sure. We're not professionals. We don't know anything about cars, except for this guy who works on cars almost every single day of his life.
Yes.
So he knows a little about cars.
Yeah.
And I know what they do. I know they get me from place to place. And I know they have at least 3 wheels.
You
haven't thought farther beyond that, but anyway, that's not what we get paid to be on this podcast to do. We get paid on this podcast to talk about our childhood favorite lines and movies and shows and video games, except for that first one, except for lines. We don't talk about our favorite lines on this podcast. We talk about everything else, everything that's not a car.
My favorite line is the perpendicular.
I've known you for 20 years of my life. I have never heard a better joke come out of your mouth than the one that just left your orifice now.
That's sad.
And it's not true. This guy's really funny. And I've heard him say funnier jokes. So don't believe me when I say stuff on this podcast. I'm lying for attention.
Man's always lying.
I'm going crazy, dude. I'm going absolutely crazy. I started playing Fallout 4 at your request, and it's been a long time coming. And I don't know what I'm doing, man. They give me too much freedom. I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
I'm losing it a little bit. I'm losing it. I lost my dog. I don't know where dog meat went. Dog meat, he probably as good as dead, for all I know. I run into the same houses over and over because I'm just bad at the game and I keep dying. It's like my personal Groundhog Day, but it's not fun. And Bill Murray is nowhere to be seen. It is fun though. It is fun. I do like sneaking around with my little sniper, and then walking into a room and hearing a guy go, "Huh, what's that?" And then I sneak around the corner and I shoot him, and then I go back downstairs and I wait for 5 minutes for everyone to think that I ran away.
Forget that it happened.
Yeah, and then I run back upstairs to shoot more guys. That's the Skyrim strategy that I took with the bow and arrow, and that's going to be my Fallout strategy with the snipers. I'm going to be a sniper kid as much as I want to be the rocket hammer guy. I just don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I have it in me. So that's what I've been up to. That's what I've been up to lately, and watching the anime ReZero. If anyone has ever heard of ReZero, it's also about a guy who dies over and over again. But it's an anime, and there's a half elf girl and two twin maids who are also demons, and a flying little cat named Puck, but he's not actually a cat. He's a spirit. He's an ice spirit, and I'm realizing that I probably sound crazier and crazier each new detail I add to the story, but I promise I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm just an anime fan. Put that on a t-shirt.
You know who is crazy? Apparently everyone at Nickelodeon, dude.
Oh my god. Don't even fight. I haven't watched the documentary yet, but I've seen enough clips, and I've seen enough clips of people talking about it, and I've seen the interview that Dan Schneider posted that I haven't watched the full interview, but shit's wild, man.
This is coming from me, who Drake and Josh is my favorite show of all time.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, I did not know. So, for those of you who don't know, there was a documentary that came out recently surrounding Nickelodeon and the years that it was producing shows with Dan Schneider, who I think created or co-created All That and The Amanda Show and Drake and Josh and iCarly and Victorious and all of these shows that we grew up with. And for years, there were rumors and Nick Stars that had hinted at the fact that Dan Schneider was a real fucking creep. And then that started circulating, and so people would post clips from those shows where they had the kids, like the children, do really weird stuff on camera, and then all of the pieces just kept coming together until I forget who or if there was someone who came out first, but eventually people were legit just coming, out with stories about Dan and the people at Nickelodeon. And now there's a whole documentary, and there are plenty of interviews where those same child stars speak out against the people who did terrible things to them, unspeakable things, and it's fucked up, and it makes me really sad to think about, because obviously those shows were a big part of my childhood, as they were, for David and for a lot of other people our age and a lot of our friends, and so to know that kind of shit was happening behind the scenes, it makes me want to not watch those shows again. But I don't know, man. I haven't even watched the documentary, so I don't even know if it's going to get better or worse for me.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
I've seen the Drake Bell episode.
Ugh.
And I skimmed through like the second to one because they were talking about All That for a while, and I never watched that shit.
All That was a little bit.
I just want to get to the stuff that I watched.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
All That was a little before our time, but there were a lot of people who were on All That ended up being in those shows that we liked.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, moral of the story, just don't be a fucking weirdo. Just don't be a fucking weirdo who orders kids to do gross shit with their feet and writes sketches where you're telling kids to blow over and over again.
Yeah.
It's rough, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucked up. How do we transition from this?
Well, we're talking about real life crazy people at Nickelodeon into fictional crazy people in the world of Jack Nicholson.